Marvel had their own TV shows come out. They had WandaVision, they had Hawkeye, they had, Winter Soldier and Falcon. They had all these shows that came out that really turned the tides and stuff. Well, now DC has their first show out, Peacemaker. What do I think about Peacemaker? Let's talk about it. Peacemaker comes from director James Gunn and is telling the story of Peacemaker after he survives the events of the Suicide Squad, and it stars John Cena and an all-star cast and an eagle. So that should tell you what kind of show that we're about to talk about. So basically in here I'm going to give a review of season 1 of the show, and this will have no spoilers in it. You're safe. I'm not going to spoil the show because believe me, there's some things in there that I shouldn't say because you need to experience them yourself. But I'm going to give you my basic thoughts on the show and how I felt about it. So let's start. So, first off, how do I feel about John Cena? He's fantastic. Like, he was good in the Suicide Squad. He is fantastic here. I think John Cena has perfected this character. He's nailed it. He's made it his own. And just the way John Cena is, his charisma and his attitude and his character, it's perfect for this show. This show is just absolutely a blast every time you see it because this show can be dramatic and it's funny and it's got times where it's great action. It's just an amazing James Gunn style thing. And I'm so glad James Gunn got an opportunity to make this thing. Every episode just was literally fun from beginning to end. It's just literally fun. You can sit down and just enjoy yourself and laugh because, everyone's swearing up and down and there's really over the top violence and insane, ludicrous jokes and stuff. There's this one scene where he's talking to his neighbor, and his neighbor's talking about how Batman doesn't kill people, but you kill people, and John Cena is like saying it's because Batman's weak and all of this, and it was just funny, and it was a really great scene. There's like this scene where he's talking to his friend, and this guy he's working with is telling him, he's like, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's either a duck or it's a person in a human costume. And John Cena goes off on this, Peacemaker goes off on this whole rant where he's like, it can't be because the duck couldn't put on its little human face. He's explaining how a duck can put on a human costume and how it's offensive. And it was just, that's the kind of stuff I can watch the show for. And it delivered on every level. Now, I won't lie, I was a little skeptical when they made a show. I was like, maybe the Suicide Squad did all they had. No, James Gunn had more, believe me. And he had more that was fun. The music in this movie is great. The action is over the top and wonderful. The dialogue is so witty and so good. I genuinely enjoyed the show. I do have a few problems with the show, though. For one, the show at times can be tonally an up and down thing. Because sometimes they want to go for a dramatic scene, but then afterwards they want to go for a comedy, and it gets to be a little like, you're jumping a little too much. It's a little odd. But aside from that, I'd say there's only one other major problem I have with this show, and that is, at times, the show almost became too overblown. And that's not always a good thing. In this case, just a few times in the show, there were a few instances where it got a little too big, and a little too crazy, and a little too overblown. But aside from that, I love this show. I think the show is definitely worth your watch. If you're a DC fan in any way, even if you don't like DC, I think you would like this show. It's that kind of a show. It's a lot of fun. I know I keep saying that word so much, but it's the only way I can really describe how I feel about this show. And it's just escapist. And it's just rare nowadays that we have something so lighthearted on television because we usually have shows like The Crown, The Witcher, Game of Thrones, things like that, things that are a lot more serious, Euphoria, things that are more serious in tone. This is just a good breath of fresh air, and it's exciting, and it's something attached to DC because I am someone who likes DC and Marvel. I'm that kind of guy. I don't care. I like Star Trek and I like Star Wars. I'm one of those people. It doesn't really matter to me. So for me, this was perfect. This came at the right time. It was a little entertainment every time an episode came out, just to kind of escape, watch something fun, and that was it. So what do I feel about Peacemaker? Well, that's all I can tell you without spoiling it. I might do a spoiler review. Maybe not really sure. But as right now, I'm going to give it my rate. I'm going to give Peacemaker an 8 out of 10. Because this is something I definitely recommend for you to go check out. And thanks as always, guys, for watching. Have a great day.